Hello everybody, we're getting ready to do 5.5 part 1 of 6th grade math today, classwork. And for today's lesson there'll be 32 points on your classwork sheet. Have that out in front of you, students. Put your name, date, period here, due date here for my onliners and homeschoolers. Your notebook will have 2 points. Have your notebook guide out or your notebook. And let's go into the bell work today, students and teachers. Here's your bell work for today. 26.73 divided by 9, students, and 4 divided by 3.2. Put your answers here. Teachers, give your students about 5 minutes for that. See you in 5. Welcome back, everybody. For the first one here, 26.73, students, you should have 2.97. 26.73 divided by 9, and then down here 4 divided by 3.2, you should come out with 1.25. Use your calculator or do it the long way here. Either way, that's what you have. Okay, moving on into our intro here. How can you solve problems involving multiplication and division of fractions and decimals? That's what we'll get into later. And then interpreting a word problem. How do you do that? When you solve a word problem involving rational numbers, you often need to think about the problem to decide which operations to use. And we'll get into that as well in 5.5. So this goes into your notebook here, students. Example 1, problem solving. Naomi earned $54 mowing lawns in 2 days. She worked 2.5 hours yesterday and 4.25 hours today. If Naomi was paid the same amount for every hour she works, how much did she earn per hour? So how do we solve this word problem? Okay, so first we need to analyze our word problem up here. Identify the important information. What's the important information? She made $54 mowing lawns. So she made $54 mowing lawns. And then she worked 2.5 hours yesterday and 4.25 hours today. Okay, so that's our essential information there. Important information. 2.5 hours yesterday and then 4.25 hours today. Okay, so that's pretty important there to know the amount of time she worked. So using the expression, we have $54 divided by 2.5 plus 4.25 is our time worked to find the amount she earned per hour. And then once we do that, we can solve the thing. So follow the order of operations up here. Order of operations will be parentheses. So we add our parentheses here first. 2.5 plus 4.25 be 6.75 hours. And now what we need to do is divide our time into our dollar amount. And when we divide 54 by 6.75, we get $8. So she earned $8 per hour mowing lawns. Okay? So knowing that, justify and evaluate. So you added 2.5 and 4.25, right? First, to find the total number of hours she worked. And then you divided $54 by the sum to find the amount she earned per hour. That is your reasoning there. Okay, so now it's going to be your turn, students. Casey buys 6.2 yards of blue fabric and 5.4 yards of red fabric. If the blue and red fabric cost the same amount per yard and Casey pays $58 for all of the fabric, what is the cost per yard? So how would we do that one? That's going to be up to you, students, to do that. And we're going to go on. Converting fractions and decimals to solve problems. So recall that you can use a number line to find equivalent fractions and decimals. If a fraction and a decimal are equivalent, they are represented by the same point on a number line. Because they occupy the same point, a fraction and a decimal, 1/2 would occupy the same point that 0.5 would represent, correct? Okay, knowing that much, we're going to go into example 2. Each part of a multi-part question on a test is worth the same number of points. The whole question is worth 37.5 points. Roz got 1/2 of the parts of a question correct. How many points did Roz receive? So she got 1/2 of the parts correct of this amount here. So solution 1 would be step 1, convert the decimal to a fraction greater than 1. So how do you convert this into a fraction? So 1/2 times 37.5 would equal 1/2 times 75 over 2. So 75 over 2, right? 37.5 is 37.5, or 75 over 2. 2 times 37 is 74, plus 1 over 2 would be 75 over 2. And then we're going to take 1/2 of 75 over 2, and we get what? Multiply, write the product in the simplest form. So once we multiply 75 over 2 times 1 over 2, we get 75 over 4, which is the same thing as 18 3/4. So Roz received 18 3/4 points. Solution 2 will be convert the fraction to a decimal. So 1/2 times 37.5 would be 0.5 times 37.5. And then once we have two decimals now, we can 0.5 times 37.5 would be 18.75. Roz received 18.75 points. So that'd be two different ways that you can either use fractions or the decimal method of solving that problem. And that is 5.5 Part 1, 6th grade math. Animated PowerPoint math video at AOL.com for questions or course materials. Thank you very much.